Let me then also ask you a question which many CEOs are not very comfortable answering. We are in the run-up to the 2024 elections, and if you read and hear what's going on, we are in election mode. You said, states is where things happen. Cooperative federalism is a term that we've heard. But with the kind of divide we've seen between political parties and across the board, do you think the election year is going to be a year where things are not going to move as far as business and growth are concerned? Is that a fear that the industry shares?
I think somewhere we have seen over a period of time, while politics has its own place, economic has to be run parallelly. Elections in India are always happening. So let me put it this way. Every year you have election in different states, and then you have a central election after 5 years. So while this will be a run-up after this budget, but I'm sure that the government of the days, either in the center or the state, will recognize that economic velocity cannot be slowed down or stopped. Some bit will happen, but it always happens. It happens across the world. So India is nothing new. Every democracy goes through that process. So we will have to say some slowdown as long as the policy continuation happens.
Sumant, how do you think politics is going to impact the economy in the coming months? He says elections are there all the time, but this is the mega one.
Yeah.
This is the big one. And in the big one, preceded by three smaller ones, which will be also very big because of the closeness to the general elections. Do you think we will see suspended animation, or do you actually believe that everything will be hunky-dory and move at the pace that we expect it to?
Well, I'll make 2 points, Navika. First of all is that this government has been very, very prudent about their fiscal deficit. And I don't think that you'll see a lot of populist handouts. I don't think that's the style and the philosophy of this government. I think their view has always been long-term, and I think they'll continue to focus on building the economy for the long term. So I think that's as far as the government's position is concerned. At least this is my view, right? On the other side, as far as the economy is concerned, look, I think there's a lot of momentum in the economy. Corporates are not going to hold back their plans just because there is an election coming up. So I think you'll continue to see corporate capex going up. I think public sector capex will also go up. As you know, in the last budget, the FM had increased capex spend by almost 35%. This year, I expect to see a similar increase again. So I think you'll see spending carrying on, because I think this government realizes that the best way to win elections is to create economic growth and to create jobs, and to build the infrastructure and make the country more sort of efficient from a long-term.
And pressure on populism, that doesn't count?
No, I think, as I said, I think that the Prime Minister has this unique capability where he's able to actually sell, I think, the long-term work that is being done as a positive, which so far I think political parties have not been able to do as much, and therefore there was this little bit of populism. I realize that we're straying into different territory here now, and this is your area, so I am not going to go there. But I think that look, I think it's going to be fine.
It's going to be fine. Well, the temperatures here, uncomfortable, some uncomfortable questions, always in order. But business is gung-ho. India is the story at Davos, and you can make that out by the number of Indians you see at the Davos promenade. More Indians than any other nationality. But the story goes along. How much of India will change? We'll keep an ear to the ground on that one.